Welcome to the Backwoods-N-Boots podcast, where we'll cover everything from habitat management to growing cranberries. We'll probably even throw in a hunting story or two. Welcome to the Backwoods-N-Boots podcast. I'm your host, Travis Lambert. This episode, we're going to be going over to the 2026 Winter Trade Show put on by the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association, and we're going to be hanging out with Texas Boom Company, taking a look and see what they've got in stock for us for 2026. But before we do that, I wanted to give a little overview of what we're going to be doing with this podcast. We're going to cover a lot of topics. Cranberry growing is one of them. Habitat management, food plots, probably a little bit of hunting, fishing, and a lot of just life in general. We're hoping people can learn from it. We're hoping people can get some ideas of good products from it. And most of all, I'm just hoping we can get some good stories out of it. The big thing is going to be bringing guests on, trying to learn about their lives, learn what they do, and maybe learn a little more of what we want to do in life. So with that, let's jump over to the trade show and see how things are with Texas Boom Company.
All right, let's get started. So we are at the Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association Winter Trade Show. Sitting here with Rick with Texas Boom Company. And Rick, what are you supplying at the Winter Trade Show?
Well, we love coming here. This is our fourth or fifth year, and we've been showing our boom that we've made for cranberry harvesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we got a piece of that right here. We'll show quick. This is a sample. Rick's been providing this for about 5 years, the cranberry industry.
Yeah, and the origin of it, as you know, is really when your father gave me a call once and asked me if I made cranberry boom. And I honestly said, "What's that?"
Yeah.
I like to tell this story that I said, not yet, but I'm about to.
Right.
And you know what? He was kind enough to let us come down and watch the harvest and kind of learn about, what it would take to make something that was that would work.
Okay. And Texas Boom Company, you're based out of Houston area, Katy, right?
Yep, we're on the west side of Houston.
All right. And what was the original product that you guys were producing?
Well, Texas Boom's been in business since 1986 and primarily focused around the gas and oil industry.
Okay.
And so we mostly, at that time, made oil boom, oil containment boom. So if there's a spill, if you've ever seen an oil spill like the BP spill in 2010,
yep.
You'd see on TV that floating barrier that was around it. A lot of that was ours.
Okay.
And so,
cool.
Yeah,
that seems to coexist well with cranberries, not the oil part, but the boom part.
Right.
So if you see on the picture back here, with cranberries, we corral our berries once they're floating, pull them down to one end of the bed to pick them up out of the bed, and that oil slick type boom, which we call cranberry boom now, works perfect for that and does the job.
Yeah, we made some changes to it. Typically oil boom wouldn't be permeable, because you don't want the oil passing through, right?
Yeah.
But with cranberry boom, it's different. Letting the water go through creates less drag on the boom. So we found a really heavy-duty mesh, and we use that as the fabric.
Yep.
And we use foam for the flotation. Then there's a chain in the bottom for ballast.
Okay.
And it seems to work out really well.
Yeah.
The real test is the guys actually out there working.
Right.
And it seems like they like it.
Good.
And you've used it plenty. What do you think of it?
Yeah, we've been using it 5 years now. I love the mesh. It's permeable for pulling, but I also love that it dries quickly. So, solid material boom, if you get a rip in it or something, you're going to get water in there. After harvest, when you're drying things out and getting things ready to put away, that water's not coming out of a solid material boom.
Right.
With the mesh that we've got here, it drains right out, dries out easily, works great. So I love it. Like I said, we've been running the same pieces of boom for 5 years now with the Texas Boom Company boom, and it's working great. Really well built.
Yeah,
So,
do you think it feels lighter, too, because it's permeable?
It's probably. It's definitely lighter after harvest when there's no water stuck in it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which it helps, too, because when you get water in it, a lot of times it'll sink as well. It seems like that foam and that kind of absorbs some of that, and you'll get low spots in it. So this kind of takes care of that. With the round float on the top, some of them that you can get out there are flat float. This has got the round float, and you get a lot less planing. You just get some guys that are going to pull a little quicker, and with that flat, it'll plane right under the berries, and with this round float, it stays right up on top nice. So
yeah. I remember I sent some out to your dad, and when I got there to watch, I asked him, I said, what is that strapped to the side of it? And he had taken a pool noodle.
Oh, yeah.
Right by the end connector, and very engineering.
Yep.
But I thought, surely we can do better than that.
Yeah, we'll show you what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
That's this little float here by the end connector. It was getting a low spot in the boom where that end connector was. So we had strapped the pool noodle vertically to it to keep that spot high up in the water. So Rick went ahead and added a float to each buckle, and that keeps it from sinking down, which works nice. We're hearing from the guys that it's going through the rollers pretty easy. If they're rolling it up, you can see a photo. You actually can't see a photo because it's below our legs here. But you can go to the website. Do you know what your website is? Or just
I do.
search?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's just texasboom.com.
Okay. There you go. Go to texasboom.com. You'll
And
probably
then
see some of these photos.
Drop down Cranberry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, like I said, we're at the Winter Trade Show. This is basically a members-only trade show for cranberry growers, not open to the public. But with the group that we've had here today, we've had a lot of positive feedback with the guys and gals that have been using this boom. So I think it's kind of just, onward and upward from here with what's going on with Texas Boom.
And these trade shows are obviously a chance to sell more boom to other people, but it's a good chance to meet and see people, get to see them and get feedback.
Yeah, feedback's the big thing.
Yeah.
We've gotten some feedback, good and bad, and most of the bad is stuff that's been worked out already.
Yeah.
People that have had older product, stuff that has been changed already. Good feedback has been great. A lot of people saying they're sticking with Texas Boom now.
Yeah, I think we're getting a lot of momentum. We probably have, between here and Cape Cod and Oregon, we maybe have 50 or 60 farmers using it now.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool in this short time.
Yeah.
And it's a good group of guys I really like, and ladies.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised how many ladies are at it, too.
Yeah. It's cranberry growing is kind of a family affair. A lot of these marshes are family marshes, and the whole family is involved. Ours is, we're going on the third generation with my kids, and everybody works. That's just part of it. Everybody does a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So,
well, I like to ride on the equipment when I was doing it.
Right? Yeah, get up on the berry pump and check things out.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned Cape Cod, you mentioned Oregon. You guys sell nationwide to the areas that grow cranberries.
Yeah.
What do you see as the big difference? What are people asking for differently on, the East Coast versus Wisconsin?
Yeah, so Cape Cod, a lot of those bogs are way old, hundreds of years old. They've been in the family forever, but it's different. They're shallow. They're a lot more shallow, and they're smaller, and they're different shapes. And so we make the skirt of the boom instead of 6 inches, 4 inches.
Okay.
That way it doesn't clip, the berries on the way, the plants.
Yeah, doesn't drag bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you do trade shows out there as well, right?
I do.
Okay.
Yep. And then New Jersey, there's a lot of people in Jersey. That's kind of up and coming. And because it's newer, they're building bigger marshes. People are wanting to pull more and more, 1,000 feet at a time.
Yeah.
So we have to be on our toes, making sure that we're making them, reinforcing it in certain places that wasn't necessary before.
Yep.
So
which is good. I mean, it's kind of covering all the bases. And we don't have, there are some big bogs around here, but not quite like that typically. So, but it's nice to have that extra reinforcement.
Yeah. I learned a new thing today. We met a lady that's called the Bug Lady. I didn't know there was bug ladies. What's that all about?
So that goes along with our integrated pest management. The Bug Ladies that we have around, there's a couple different people in the area go around marsh to marsh in the summer season when the bugs are out and active, and they will go do a sweep basically with a net. Take a look at what bugs are active. They'll look at the vines. They'll also, check for fertilizer, vine conditions, see what you might need for fertilizer. With the bugs, they'll let you know which stage of the bug's life they're in. And depending on that, there are different pesticides needed to control the bugs if they're going to affect the crop. There's bugs that affect the plant itself. There's bugs that affect the fruit. And so they're looking for all of that and determining when we should put on pesticides to control that, or other means to control it. Early in the year they can do a flood to control bugs. Later in the year, once we're blossoming and stuff, then we're doing pesticides to manage that.
All right. So it's like a bug consultant.
Bug consultant, and they also do plant. I would say bug and plant consultant.
All right.
So they let us know everything, and they do, like you heard, they'll do a pretty big loop around the state throughout the week and just kind of check marsh to marsh and offer their services up for that. So yeah, it's an interesting job and a much needed job. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So.
I've also learned, I guess, you flood the fields in the winter, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that, because it's kind of a protection thing.
Yeah, so it's January right now, mid-January, and December this year we had some really cold below zero weather, so we got our flood on early. And what the flood's going to do is it's going to protect those vines.
You're freezing them, right?
Yep, you're flooding it, making good ice, and then usually about a week to 10 days you're letting the water off that's left underneath. You'll release that water back into your reservoirs, and then there'll be an air pocket basically between the bed and the vines that in that ice will a lot of times settle down. But that air pocket in there keeps the vines warm basically. They're not going to get freezer burnt, is what we say a lot. They get freezer burnt, especially if there's cold and wind. Coming out of the winter, if they haven't been protected, they're going to be brown looking. And you're going to have your new growth from your buds and stuff from the year before are going to be dead. So that's needed. And then we also need that ice if you're going to be doing sanding. Usually in the spring, you'll go in every other year, and put a little layer of sand on top of that ice. You'll drive right out there with a dump truck, spread that sand out there, and when that melts in the spring and settles back down in, that it does a multitude of things. It helps with re-rooting runners, they call them, the longer vines. It helps with controlling pests. It helps with controlling leaf litter, just all kinds of different things that one process will do. So, yeah, that ice is two-part, protect the vines and give us a base to drive our trucks out on to spread some sand.
That's wild.
Yeah, so... Yeah, Texas.
Yeah, we
don't know a lot about you don't have to worry about ice much.
I know. Every time I come here, luckily it's a little warmer this time, but every time I come here, I lose feeling in my fingers for a while.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. Yesterday it was 46 up at our place here, and it's January 13th it was. And today is, I think, in the 20s, and by the weekend it's supposed to be 10 for a high, I think. So we're going to get another flood on, because with this warm weather, we've lost a lot of our ice.
Okay.
So we're going to put another flood on and see if we can get some ice to last until spring so we can get our sanding done.
Awesome.
But
that's interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot goes on that you don't know about it, and you're finding that out, being fairly new to the cranberry industry.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of a cool farming practice, that's really different, really unique from your typical farming.
Yeah. So. I imagine the full circle is interesting too, because you had to remember growing up doing this, and now you got your kids out there. In fact, some of them are in our pictures.
Yeah. Yep.
Your youngest son thinks he's famous because he's in one of our pictures. I love it.
Yeah, we started our marsh when I was 7. So it's pretty much all I know is working on the Cranberry Marsh. And there's a lot of families in the area that have had it generations and generations.
Wow.
Where everybody's had it throughout their lives. But yeah, it's great. Like we were talking about earlier with one of the people here that stopped by, it's a great way for these kids to learn a good work ethic. They're out there on a weekly basis working outside or learning to run equipment at a young age. A lot of life skills that they could use. So it's been great, and I wouldn't change my childhood growing up in that, and I'm glad they're able to get a chance to do that as well.
It is a big family thing.
Yes.
That was one of the first things that stuck out to me when I came was there was people at your place working that were neighbors that had their own marshes.
Yeah.
And then I think your dad had told me that when you guys were done, you guys would go help them.
Yep. Yeah,
That's
we
kind of
share labor, and it saves us on, paying a bunch of people for 1 week a year, and everybody gets to benefit it, and we have a big meal every day.
Let's not forget to mention your mom's pies.
Yes.
Yeah,
the homemade pies.
Yeah, that's really probably why they come to work.
Right? Yeah, the food is a big part of it, and just the camaraderie. I've got friends now that live an hour away that's their thing every year. They bring their camper down and park it at the Cranberry Marsh and help harvest and take off work for it just so they can come down and help. And it's fun. I call it fun and clean farming because there's no animals, so we aren't messing with manure.
I never thought of that.
And there's a lot of opportunity for fishing, with the reservoirs. So it's always fun to break out a pole after work and see what's going on.
The first year I was out on a motorcycle ride and we stopped by and just stayed a lot longer than I thought we would because it was so interesting.
Yeah, it's for sure. And that's what, with this podcast, hopefully I'll get everybody to see. We're going to do videos and talk with other growers and talk with other vendors like you and just try to spread the word about this cranberry industry and how cool it is, It's interesting, and it's a lot of people don't understand. They see an Ocean Spray commercial going on, and that's what they think cranberry growing is, and there's just a whole other side to that. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah. I still don't know. There's still a lot to learn, but the fresh fruit, there's a couple different ways that they use it after it's grown.
Might have to take a quick break here. We got some people. Do you guys need to talk? No? Okay. Just some people. They were here once
We'll take
already.
a break.
Yeah.
That's more important.
Yep. But yeah, we could probably wrap it up anyways.
All right.
We're getting towards the end of the day anyways, and you'll be flying back to Texas tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get a nice day and a half, 2 days in the cool weather before you head back down south.
Exactly. I'm glad you invited me. I'm glad to be on your show, and mostly I'm thankful for your dad. Your dad got me started.
Well, thanks. I'll have to pass that along.
Yeah.
But yeah, if anybody out there is looking for Boom, you can go to the website.
Yep, TexasBoom.com.
You can contact Rick. If you're in the Wisconsin area, we can throw my number out. I can help with anything in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we have spill kits and other things besides Boom.
Yeah, if you want to grab that spill kit quick, just to give a quick. That's so they're doing basically a 5-gallon bucket with your. We got oil absorbent pads, and then they've got
some socks,
and then there's also rubber gloves in there, trash bags to put your absorbed stuff in if you need it. Great to have that on any piece of equipment that's anywhere around water.
What do you guys just strap it right on your
We just
tractor,
bungee it right to our harrow, which is the machine that we're using to knock the cranberries off. And then typically you'll have one on our berry pump as well. Anything that's by the water, that's got hydraulics. We're typically running a spill kit with just in case.
All right. Well, TexasBoom.com. Check us out.
Sounds good.
We'd love to help you out, and we're glad to be part of this industry.
Well, thanks, Rick. I'm glad you brought me on, and I'm glad to have you as part of the Cranberry family now.
Yeah, exciting.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.